Hey, you guys, it's Justin.
What's up? I'm Hope.
And today,
Or
on
Eeyore.
Halloween...
I'm Eeyore.
Eeyore.
My bad.
Today...
This is Jedi Louie.
Yes, Jedi Louie. I got my lightsaber here.
That's pretty cool.
But happy Halloween, you guys.
Happy Halloween! Woo!
Should I leave that on? Should I leave it? But first thing we wanted to talk about, since it's Halloween today, we might as well first cover Halloween itself. And when talking about Halloween, there's a lot of different controversial things when it comes to Halloween. Of people saying, oh, it's a pagan holiday. Okay, most holidays are pagan holidays. The definition of pagan is pretty much any mythology that's not mainstream. Any belief that's not mainstream, people call pagan. So don't take that so far.
Is it mainstream or is it just opposing to what they believe?
Here's the definition of pagan. Especially in historical contexts, a person holding religious beliefs other than those of the main or recognized religions.
Yeah,
Okay,
I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. We always like fact-checking ourselves. Always. It's a good habit to have. If before you say anything or while you're saying something, try to fact-check yourself. You never want to sound stupid. There's enough of those people in this world.
Super easy. We have technology everywhere.
Yeah, you can
usually have it in your hand.
Yeah, you can pull up technology, like facts right then and there. You don't have to, do anything else.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry.
But what's up, Tomas? Feel free to comment on here. We're also this will also be on the podcast. So any comment you have, topics to talk about, anything like that, anything you interject, we will read aloud, and it will also be on the podcast.
Yeah.
But the first topic we're talking about is Halloween. And how a lot of people will say things like, oh, don't celebrate Halloween. It's a pagan holiday. The definition of pagan is any belief system outside of the main belief system. So that's all that is. And I believe anytime you feed too much into something, that's when you really give it power.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've heard a lot of really bizarre things and seen a lot of bizarre videos about people talking about, oh, Halloween is of the devil, and that's when the most sacrifices happen, the most blood sacrifices. Not true. Do your research.
Misinformation.
Yeah, misinformation is out there everywhere, so that's why we're saying fact check. Make sure everything you're doing is legit.
Yeah, and just because something originates from a different belief system doesn't mean it should be thrown out or, especially if you have kids. If you have kids and you're not letting them go get candy on Halloween and dress up.
Let your kids have fun.
Let your kid be a kid.
There are costumes that you can get. Like, okay, so I grew up in a really strong Christian household, and so the costumes that my parents did were like Bible character costumes. Like, I think one of the coolest ones I did was one year I was the fruit of the Spirit, and so my mom got me this little suit, and then we covered it with balloons, and I was a big grape, and I wrote all of the fruits of the Spirit all over the balloons. And so there's fun little stuff. I mean, my brother was like a firefighter, and they told people he was Noah's Ark or Noah from Noah's Ark, Little fun things. Like, you can still celebrate Halloween and make it fun for your kids without overstepping your boundaries.
That's really what it's all about. Let your kids go get some candy. Let them go have some fun. Don't rain on their parade and have them get made fun of in school all because their parents they suck.
Yeah.
And I will also say the same thing about Christmas. I don't care if you're Jewish. I don't care if you're Muslim. If everybody's doing something, don't make your kid feel left out. Don't let them go to school and they're like, what'd you get for Christmas, Timmy?
Nothing. We don't do Christmas.
I'm Jewish. We don't do that. Is it Jewish who don't do that? Right? I believe so. Is it the Jewish who don't do that? I believe so. But anyways, you don't be like that. Let your kids have fun. Let your kids be a kid. The world is already lame enough as it is. Let your kids have some fun on Halloween.
Yeah, and adults, dress up, have fun, break out of your funk, and just have fun. Especially if you have kids. Let them see you dressing up and having fun.
Yeah, teach your kids how to have fun. Don't teach your kids to be a square bear and they grow up all lame.
Oh no.
Let your kids celebrate Halloween. It's not or Christmas. It's not. Don't let your religion suck the fun out of every single thing.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, that brings us to the topic of today.
Yeah.
And it is a hard topic that nobody really wants to talk about, but me and Hope are bold.
Here we are.
We're bold.
We're gonna talk about it.
We're going to say what we believe. And so the first thing, since I just said it, is the word believe.
Believe. Here.
The definition of belief. Let's understand what the definition of belief is before we do anything else. So that way we can understand what the word means.
The definition of belief is an acceptance that a statement is true or something exists. Trust, faith, or confidence in someone or something.
Is a belief.
A belief, a feeling sure that someone or something exists, is or true or trustworthy. So
Yeah.
you believe.
And often when you believe in something, there's no way of factually determining your belief. That's why it's called a belief.
The definition of believe says to accept something as true, feel sure of the truth of, or to hold as an opinion, think, or suppose.
Yes. So let's humble ourselves enough to understand that a belief is just a belief. It is what you believe, and you have the right to believe whatever you want. And what is true for you is true for you. And no one has the right to take that away from you. No
Right.
one. But you have to understand, everybody has that right. Everybody, no matter what they believe, whether they believe in Greek mythology, Norse mythology, you name it. They believe in those things. They believe in those things. For you to call their belief stupid, you might as well call your own belief stupid as well, because they're all beliefs, and none of them can be fully factually proven as 100% fact. Or even if you can prove that, let's say, Jesus walked to the earth, you can't necessarily prove that he did what he did, because all you have is hearsay.
Yeah. We live in a culture right now where people feel so certain that they have the answers figured out that they forgot. One of our intentions as humans is to question and to search and to look for knowledge. And if you are so concrete in your brain that you can't accept that you could be wrong, or that another person may have another piece of the puzzle figured out that maybe you haven't put together yet, like, it's okay to not know. It's okay to have questions. It's okay to continue searching and looking and seeking to find what is true for you. That's okay.
And we actually did a podcast about open-mindedness. I believe that was the title of it. So you can always check us out. Justin and Hope Andrews, Open-mindedness, I believe is the name of that podcast. And we break down pretty much the traits of what it is to be open-minded and the importance that it is to be open-minded.
Yeah.
As we said before, the reason we're podcasting, we're doing these, is because we are living in times that we're at a crossroad as a human race, where it's evolve or die.
Yeah.
We have technology and bombs where we could literally wipe every human off the face of this planet, and at the same time, and life itself off the face of this planet. And if we don't evolve to a level of intelligence, that is what we are going to do.
Yeah.
All meaningless wars, meaningless fights.
We're
like,
already doing that. And it's just going to increase and get worse.
A truly intelligent being doesn't settle things by fighting or war. A truly intelligent being settles things through conversation, through communication and understanding, and finding middle grounds and knowledge. That is how we grow. That is how we move toward unity. But if we don't do that and we stay divided and stay fighting amongst each other, that is how we wipe ourselves off the face of this planet.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have children, you should definitely care about what we have to say, because we're all about making the world a better place, not including especially for your children.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to live in a world this rough.
The changes that we make today will heavily impact our children, either in a good way or in a bad way. That is the weight that we carry, is the future for our children.
Yes. I think the next concept I wanted to talk about is kind of stuff that's going on right now. For a lot of people, you don't know, they might not be getting their SNAP benefits. There might be kids going hungry here soon, and that is disgusting.
I'm angry, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm really angry. I've done so much extensive research. I've been listening to everything. I've been angry.
Yeah.
Because why are we so okay with starving children? 16 million children plus will be impacted by the loss of SNAP EBT benefits, meaning the one thing that they can rely on to give them a meal will disappear. We are already facing hunger. We're already facing homelessness. Why are we okay with starving kids?
And since we're still talking about religion as well, for all of you Christians who are out there and you're like, yeah, F them kids.
Get a job.
Get a job, kids. For all or parents of these kids, for all of you Christians or so-called Christians who claim that title out there, you're not deserving of the title. To be the true definition of to be Christian is to be Christ-like. Christian.
Mm-hmm.
To be Christ-like is what the true definition of a Christian is supposed to be. You're supposed to be walking the path he walked, not casting judgmental stones. As Jesus said it best, cast not the first stone if you've never sinned. You guys can't. You guys are quick to judge, cast stones with your mouth. That's still casting stones, just not physical stones.
Yeah.
You're still casting stones. That is not being Christ-like.
Mm-hmm.
That's not being Christian. So we speak out against a lot of the false pretenders because it's like don't even. And it's sad because I follow a path where I try my best to be Christ-like.
Yeah.
I truly admire and want to be the best version of myself that is the connected to Christ consciousness version of myself. I want to reach that state.
Yeah.
And so anytime I see people pretending, like you live a life of pretending, it drives me nuts. I hate hypocrisy. Cannot stand it. Oh, what's up, Lamar? How's it going, man?
Hi. I was telling how you give somebody money and then take. Okay, Lamar says, people out here stealing. How are you going to give somebody some money and then take it back because you feel like it?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. And speaking of stealing, we don't want to address the people who are really stealing.
Yeah.
Think about $1 billion. You got people who have over $300 billion. How do you get 300 billion? Like, can you process every 1 billion is 1,000 millions? I've never seen $1 million, let alone someone who has $1 billion. That's 1,000 million, or no?
By the way, guys,
100,000.
We're about to bring in our first trillionaire. We are about to have our first ever trillionaire.
Yeah.
And you guys are looking at the poor, saying that they're taking your money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how hard it is to make that much money? Do you know how much money you have to steal from someone to get that much money? Who do you think they're stealing it from?
Yeah. The workers. Record-breaking profits, but the wages haven't changed since 2000 what?
2009.
Yeah. Like, come on, y'all. We gotta do better.
And, okay, brass tacks for all the people claiming, oh, I don't want my tax money to go to them. I don't want to have to be spending money for them. Do you know how much equivalent, if you make $60,000 a year, a year, you're roughly only paying $36 a year to fund EBT SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
$36. Do you know how much more you pay for corporates and things like taxing for that?
A lot more. Most of my tax dollars are going to bombing children's hospitals.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't want to talk about that, though.
We don't want to talk about that.
I'm also going to note, For all the people that proclaim to be pro-life, awesome. Cool for you. But I hope that you realize that you're pro-life in advocating for starving children contradict themselves.
Yeah.
They contradict each other.
Yeah.
So pick one. Pick
Yeah.
one side of the fence.
Yeah.
You're either okay with people doing what they want to do, or we're going to put a stop to all the violence and the madness and hypocrisy that's going on.
I've come to the conclusion that a large number of Christians are morally confused.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is they do not understand morals whatsoever. They don't understand the concept of ethics,
Yeah.
right? We don't understand these things, and it's really a simple concept.
What was that interview we watched the other day where the lady was advocating for genocide of like 10,000 people
Yeah, it was dirty. It was
over
it was not, it was
someone believing that Jesus is Lord?
it was goofy. What's
Lamar?
up, Lala? How's it going, man? What's up?
Lamar also says, and then also, where's all the extra leftover food stamp money going? Who gets that, and where is it all going? It's going in their pockets.
Yeah. We're not getting it.
Pockets.
They're funding ICE to deport all of the illegals. Which, well, what's there's the two Bible verses. One is
To love thy neighbor.
love thy neighbor as thyself, and then the other one is, I think, love God above all idols, or something along those lines. We're doing good, Lalo. We're doing good, man.
Matthew 22:36-40 is, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto them, Thou shalt love thy Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment, and the second is like unto, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Sorry, it's King James Version. Second is unto you, love your neighbor as yourself. On these two commandments hang all the law and prophets.
And if you are like, oh yeah, screw those Mexicans because they're illegal, you're not loving your neighbor.
Yeah, no.
You're not loving your neighbor.
Not at all.
That
Do you
is
know
not
how
love.
inhumane they are treating humans? They're still humans, y'all.
I cannot stand all the hypocrisy.
Mm.
I can't stand everybody and everybody's struggling right now. All the jobs are paying below the cost of living.
What is
You
it?
know, it's insane. It is absolutely insane, and I'm tired of it. And anybody who claims to be of a belief system of a Christian faith, and you guys are doing nothing but spouting hate and bitterness toward people, you're not a real Christian. And it's like if you had a fan club or a club jacket, I'd be taking your jacket from you. I'd be taking your white belt and telling you to get out the room.
I've been speaking up a lot about this kind of stuff, and I've made a lot of people really angry, including my own family. And here's my personal opinion. If you get angry for people calling out the hypocrisy that is in your, or tied to people that are in your faith, speak out against it. I should be on your team because I'm saying, hey, that's cool,
Yeah.
but do things the right way. Do it this way, do it that way, like how you're supposed to be doing things.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're mad at me for calling out the hypocrisy
Yeah.
that, let's be honest, is your duty to call out.
Yeah, love thy neighbor as thyself. If you're one of those, oh, I'm a Christian, but those Mexicans need to be deported. Like, you are not a Christian. Stop saying. Don't even say you are. Don't
You've
even.
lost your humanity.
You've lost it. You've lost it. You're not that. You know what we should be doing is helping them get their citizenship, not deporting them back, throwing them back to the wolves. Like, if they escape something to come over here, the land of the free, to try to live a better life, shouldn't we be helping them do that?
Yeah.
You know, shouldn't we be freeing people? Not what do? We enslave them. We're not living just fair life, and we're not doing people right at all. And here's another concept that people don't want to talk about. Oh, it's illegal. They come over here illegally. So did all of your ancestors. So did all of your ancestors. If you are not 100% Native American, you don't belong here. And y'all may be mad at me for saying that. It's the fucking truth. It's the truth. The whole race was genocided. You don't see a whole bunch of full-blooded Native American people.
Let's also not forget the fact that part of the process of becoming an American citizen, they have to take a test that most Americans can't even pass. In order to become a citizen,
There's a lot of steps.
like
It's
I
not
know,
an easy process.
I know, but there is a part on there that is a test that most average Americans cannot pass.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
And with that being said, it's just we should be helping them. We should be coaching them for these tests, coaching them, helping them get their citizenship instead of deporting them back. Like, love thy neighbor. That's what we're doing. That's not loving thy neighbor.
No.
That's casting them aside. And then our politicians and the Charlie Kirks want to try to badmouth them as if they're criminals, but they're not. It's statistically proven that they're not the biggest crime rate. No which, no way, no how.
No.
And they're the ones who are working all the jobs we don't want to work.
They aid our economy.
They aid the economy.
Regardless of what misinformation you've told.
Heard, yeah. And so it's just
Lalo says that's the American education system.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's absolutely sick to me. And as I said, if you're claiming to be a Christian, but you're like, yeah, deport them, you're not a real Christian.
No.
And if you're not full-blooded Native American, you really don't have much of a say, in my opinion,
no claims.
because your ancestors came here violently, illegally. You know, you want to call the Native American people savages. Who are you to call savages? Who are your ancestors?
A mass
genocide, and you call them the savages. Stop. They lived at peace in the land. They moved and followed their food. Buffaloes are almost extinct because of humans, and that was one of the reasons how they'd kill off most if they weren't catching smallpox or using sicknesses to kill them, which the Native American people weren't used to. If they weren't killing them that way, they're killing all their food supply, starving them out. If that's not inhumane, I don't know what is. And wait, are they starving people out again? Are we doing the same tactics today that they did with the Native Americans?
Well, we're not repeating history, guys. Not at all.
We need to wake up. As a whole mass people, we need to wake up and we need to be outraged. We need to wake up. We need to be outraged. We need to be outraged that our jobs pay less than the cost of living. We need to be outraged that we have to work 3 jobs in order to survive.
We're not talking thrive. We're talking survive. With 3 jobs and barely able to pay all your bills and have food on your table. That's not okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. Funny story. I'm going to tell y'all a story that happened to me this week. I was driving. I'm heading to go coach. I coach at Trail Ridge Middle School. And I was heading to go coach. And my car starts overheating. And I'm like, oh, crap. And it's like the lights are on. I have to pull over. It's not even driving for me no more. It's all my codes are flashing. It's like, you're done. It's smoking. I'm like, oh, crap. This is not good. So I'm out in Shawnee area, Merriam, and I pull out my phone, mechanic near me. I'm not going to make it very far. I need to make it to the closest mechanic before my engine blows up. So I get to this mechanic, and essentially I'm like, hey, I'm struggling. I'm only here because, I have a guy, but I'm only here because this is the closest place I could get to. Can you help me? Yeah, we got you. Whole next day goes by. I finally get a call oh, yeah, we're finally getting around to inspecting your vehicle, which will be $75. Okay, that's 3 hours of my time to pay for that. Okay, it takes y'all but a moment. You just hook it up and it tells you everything. But thank you for charging me $75 for plugging in your machine and reporting to me what the codes it says. Thank you. But anyways, they quoted me $1,000 to fix this radiator problem. And I was like, well, what's wrong with it? They're like, oh, just a hose. Hose broke. I'm like, you're trying to charge me $1,000 for a broken hose.
Yeah.
Kick rocks. And then when I start saying, no, don't touch my car. Don't touch it. They're like, oh, we can drop the price. We'll drop it to $600 and we'll finance you and you can make payments. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, because they were also trying to add things that were not requested to be fixed immediately. Yeah. You went in for your car overheating and specifically said, I need my radiator looked at. I need to know what's going on.
They start quoting
we get
my
an
back
itemized
brakes.
Bill of
$3,500.
A stabilizer and a rear job, a complete brake job for almost $1,000. The total on this thing is astronomical.
The total was $2,500 to fix a bunch of problems I didn't need. But anyways, essentially, the long story short, I'll finish up this story. I ended up telling them, don't touch my car. I'll pay for the freaking diagnostic, which was insane. And I took my car to AutoZone and I fixed it for $30. $30 worth of parts. And 2 hours of my labor, which wouldn't have been nowhere. I didn't have the right tools. I'm jigger rigging stuff, trying to figure things out. Anyways, not a mechanic, but I fixed my vehicle and it cost me $30
Yeah.
versus they were trying to charge me $1,000
for the radiator.
For not even a
Just
radiator. I didn't even need a hose.
A hose to attach to the radiator.
Yeah, just for a freaking, and it was a small hose too.
Yeah,
A small
about this
little
big.
hose. And so point I'm trying to make is it's sick. There's a lot of like businesses should not be able to ethically do that. Meanwhile, I'm sure if you're charging your employees like they're charging me, their workers are only getting paid a fraction breadcrumbs of that.
Mhm.
The money is not distributed evenly. They're ripping off the customers. We're ripping off our employees, and there are no laws in place that stop businesses from doing these things.
Right.
They're playing a monopoly game while we're pretty much modern day slaves.
Mhm.
If you don't believe that, look at your bills versus your pay.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very, very.
Which we also
Common
have a
sense.
podcast where we broke all that down too.
Oh yeah, we broke.
The downfalls of society is
Mhm.
what the podcast is called, and we took the bare minimum of everything that cost versus what our wages are. And so if you're interested in hearing more about that, check out that podcast.
Yes. Check us out. Check out our podcast. We talk about a lot of these things. To divert back to the hard topic, is we're talking belief systems. Accept that people believe different things than you. Accept it. I think that's where we need to. That's where love thy neighbor comes in. We have to be able to accept. I've met people who get so upset by the concept, possibility, or the idea that someone believes something different than them, and they feel threatened by it. You should be so concrete in your belief. You shouldn't feel threatened by other people's. I
Right.
feel concrete. I don't feel threatened by any beliefs. I can have a conversation with anybody. Muslim, Mormon, Catholic, Scientologist, you name it. I could have a conversation, atheist, with anyone, and it won't be a conversation of judgment, won't be a conversation of you going to hell. It won't be any of that, because who am I to say that,
Yeah.
right?
It's never our place to condemn in that way.
No, it's not our place to do that.
Wallace says the diagnosis pays for the information that you don't know. All that extra stuff is potential sales, something to upscale and profit. I know because I worked at a Chevy dealer.
Yeah. They're just trying to wreck you through the coals. I'm sitting here stressed out because I was broken down on the side of the road, trying to make sure I can get back to work. And meanwhile, they're like, oh, let's see if we can take him for everything he's got. He's stressed out right now. Maybe we can sucker him into this
Had to miss 2 days
$1,000 bill.
worth of pay.
Oh, we'll finance you, use your credit system, and then there'll be a interest rate on that to where you'll be paying even more. Like, y'all, it's insane. And how do you sleep at night?
That's what I'm asking.
How do you sleep at night? Do you think Jesus was doing shit like that? No, he was not. He preached the opposite, but no one wants to walk his path. And there's so many people who will do things like that for a living every day and then go to church on Sunday. And then I call that hypocrisy. I call it
so
hypocrisy.
wrapped up in the spirit of religion that you forget about the people of God.
Mm-hmm.
The real people,
And
humans.
that's all people. It's
Yeah.
all people. Here's another variable. This is a big thing. You have the Christians and Muslims are always, you got the Muslims hating on the Christians and the Christians hating on the Muslims. But in all reality, if you read the Quran, it's very similar to the Bible. It has a lot of the same Bible verses in it.
Mhm.
A lot of the same teachings. A lot of the same. It has Jesus in there, and has pretty much all the red letters from the Bible are in the Quran. Here's the only difference between the Muslims and the Christians is the Christians believe that Jesus is God, and the Muslims believe he is a prophet. That is the only difference. But yet they have such bitter hate for each other, but they both learn the same level of morals. They both have read the moral of a story.
Mhm.
is the purpose. And there's another thing. You can learn from any story. Whether you could be, you could let Netflix be your Bible as long as you're learning from the morals of the story.
Yeah.
You could be more morally sound from watching
movies.
every show and movie on Netflix than you can from the Bible, due to they're just stories, and a lot of them are stories. And what is the moral of the story? What moral do we take away from this story? David and Goliath. Bravery. Size doesn't matter. Bravery, well, your heart matters.
Courage.
Like, that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's things we're supposed to be taking away from things, but we're not doing that. What you said the other day, you're talking about a lot of people who read the Bible at a...
I think I read the other day, I was looking into people's average reading level in America and what the average reading level required for the Bible is. So the average reading level across America is a 6th grade reading level.
Sad.
6th grade reading level. And the Bible is a 12th grade reading level material. So no wonder there's so much confusion and just stuff going on, is because, let's be honest, most of y'all reading at a 6th grade reading level and can't comprehend, so you're trying to break it down and make it make sense to someone that's not able to comprehend it.
Yep.
They're not understanding it. It just causes confusion.
I took a college course on... The course was How to Learn. And that may sound like a goofy course, but it did teach me some certain things. And one of the things it taught me is the detrimentalness of confusion. Confusion is how you make someone retarded, if you ask me. So if someone is very confused about a lot of things,
Yeah.
it's going to cause a lot of problems in their development. Most of the times you have a class clown in the back of the classroom. And the reason he's being a class clown is simply because he doesn't understand. If he understood what he was learning, he would not be clowning in the back. He's clowning because he doesn't understand.
He doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. If he got it, he wouldn't be back there clowning. He back there trying to take the pressure off himself. He back there trying, But a lot of it is confusion. That's why you can't jump into intermediate college algebra if you've never taken algebra 1.
Right.
It's
get it.
too steep a gradient. Too much. I can't teach you advanced jujitsu techniques if you've never learned the basics. Right? It's going to be useless for you. So you have to... It's a big thing about being confused. And if you are confused about something, it's going to cause you to be dumber. It's going to cause you not to learn.
Most of the time when you're trying to learn, if you feel confused, you begin to get frustrated. And your brain will literally not allow you to learn.
Yeah.
In moments of feeling frustrated.
Yeah. It'll shut down on you. And once it shuts down on you, now, you're struggling. And so it's just one of those variables where... And that's another thing that I've learned in that class, was not to go past words you don't understand. Like, a lot of times in school, they teach, like, context clues, and just context clue it.
Make up your own...
Just, yeah,
own
like...
scenario
what fits in here? And
yeah.
I understand that if you're, like, taking a timed test and you're rushing and you don't have time to pull out your dictionary,
Right.
I can understand it in that aspect. But in the aspect of actual knowledge, now you're over here using words you don't understand.
Yeah.
You're over here
making up your own
definitions. So stupid. We've had people argue with their own definitions on words, and then they have to apologize after we pull up the dictionary and we're like, look, fool, don't be a fool. Educate yourself.
Oh, Lalo said he's got to get back to work. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See you, Lalo. You be easy, man.
But yeah, the confusion that goes on, Creek,
it's really detrimental.
I hear so much stuff on a regular basis that just, like, blows my mind. Like, you can't hear the things you're saying in a declaration of fact, and it's completely not. You're just confused.
Yeah, you're confused. And it's not great. What's going on, Luis? What's going on, man? I have over here self-love and how to love Christ properly.
Okay.
And how love comes from within.
Okay.
We can talk about that. we have a lot of people, a lot of hypocrites who might say that they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Good Christians or different things like that, but struggle to understand the concept of self-love or of what love even is, or what it means to love Jesus Christ. And I think a lot of people, we go back to that confusion that we just talked about. A lot of people are confused. They're confused. They think loving Jesus is praying to Jesus and taking time to dedicate energy toward Jesus, but then treating people like shit. And this isn't all Christians I'm talking about. I'm talking about a specific few, and you guys probably know them. You guys probably know someone like this.
That's why I said anybody who truly lives their life and strives to be Christ-like should not see us as an enemy for speaking against the hypocrisy. They should see us as allies.
I would consider myself a true Christian in the sense of walking my everyday trying to be Christ-like. And if you want advice on that as well, a little bit of advice, and we'll get back to that topic here in a second, but a little bit of advice on if you're struggling with trying to be Christ-like, or you think you can't do it because he's so perfect and you're so not, I will give you this advice here. Live every day like it's your last.
Yeah.
If you live every day like it is your last moment in life, it'll be a lot easier to be Christ-like, to walk Jesus' footsteps. It'll be a lot easier.
Your heart will be lighter.
Your heart will be lighter because you're not going to live life like it's a video game. You're going to be living life in a sense of compassionate care. I don't want to have regrets when I pass. And in the brass taxes, you guys, we can pass at any moment.
Yeah.
You guys have probably lost family or friends or know someone who has passed unexpectedly. It could happen to anybody. You could get in a car wreck. It could happen at any time, any moment.
People are impacted by death every day.
Every day.
But yet we still treat it as if we have tomorrow.
Yeah. And you might not. You don't know when you have. Life is a journey from A to B. And if you live every day like it's your last, you're gonna think twice before you do something that you're gonna regret. And regret is what stains and weighs down the soul. And so when you get put on that scale to see if your heart is as light as a feather and you have all this regret, don't expect to make it where you want to go.
Right.
That regret's gonna pull you down.
Yeah.
No matter what you believe. But anyways,
self-love.
Yes, self-love. Love comes from within. It is like when you pour into a cup. That is your cup of self-love. You pour into a cup, and it's not loving someone at the expense of yourself either. If I was to give my last $20 away to a homeless person, and then I let my children starve, that makes me a piece of shit. It does.
No, it does.
That makes me a piece of shit. So we have to understand. But if I go work really hard and now I have $150, now I can give him $20 and I make sure my kids eat and everybody eats. But that self-love came from within. It came from me pouring into my own cup, and then now I had enough for others, right? And if you don't have enough for others, you can't pour all your cup out. That's not self-love.
Right.
And a lot of people might be confused by that. I've seen poor people give away their last $20. And it's like you're not loving yourself properly.
Yeah.
That's not self-love. Now you're going hungry in the expense of somebody else. That's not necessarily self-love.
Right.
You should have the hard work enough to that way you can provide for yourself and whoever you want to provide for. That is how self-love should be working. And so it's the same thing when we talk about what it means to love Jesus. That is loving yourself. That is making sure you love yourself enough to get up and go to work every day. Making sure you love yourself enough to do what you have to do to provide for your family. That is self-love. That is what it looks like to love and worship Jesus properly.
Yeah.
If you can pray every day, all day long, and not do anything in your life, you're not going to be blessed in any which way because you're not loving Jesus properly. To love Jesus properly is to love yourself. And when I mean love yourself, I'm not talking about being selfish and doing stupid things. Like I've heard a lot of people say dumb things like, "Oh, people just want to sin." I'm like, "No, they don't. That's not true. People don't just want to go do bad things. A lot of times they don't love themselves. That's why they do bad things."
Yeah.
Like most of the times if someone's cheating on you in a relationship, it's because they don't love themselves. We like to blame ourselves. Oh, I'm not good enough. No, it's not that.
It's not
It's
you.
they don't love themselves. If they
Right.
love themselves, they value you in their life. They value the life they have. They'd want to keep it. You don't
Right.
want to keep it if you're going outside your relationship to do those things. That's not loving yourself. That's not giving in to sin. No, that's a matter of you don't love yourself.
Yeah.
And you need to go deep within and figure out why. You need to, because love comes from within.
It does.
That's where love comes. No one else can give it to you. If I don't love myself, you can love me all day. It's not going to be enough. Because
Right.
you're pouring into me and I'm dumping it out. Pouring into me, I'm dumping it out.
Yeah.
I'm not even getting nothing. Right? But if we both pour into our cups, we're overflowing into each other.
Mhm.
We both have full cups. We both are running from a place of self-love, and we're both worshiping Jesus properly by doing that.
Yep.
Not by, and there might be times where I might have to pour and might not have it, but I'm never going to pour all my
All
cup.
of it.
And then next thing you know, now I'm no good. And then, unless you're going to pour it right back. And then that sounds like we're struggling. That's what that sounds like. And that happens sometimes.
It does happen.
That does happen sometimes. But that shouldn't be the overall always
Regular
dynamic.
basis.
No.
Yeah.
No, it shouldn't. Hope I broke that down to where people can understand. I feel like somebody will probably still find a way to disagree with me.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah. And say
Always
something
do.
along the lines, oh, no, love is I have to cut my wrist and bleed out. And I'm like, what? You're crazy.
What?
That's how my brother is. He's kind of
Okay.
kind of rough. He thinks that when it comes to loving someone, it's putting someone above yourself. It's pouring self-sacrifice, and I don't think that's, as we said, that's a sometimes thing. That shouldn't be an always thing. If that's an
Right.
always thing, and the person you're with doesn't love themselves, they have to learn how to love themselves. Otherwise, you're pouring your cup into an empty chasm, the bottomless pit, endlessly, and you're not going to get any return off of that.
Right.
Oh, hey, Davies, what's up, man? You like our costumes? We got our Halloween costumes on.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
I should get a white one of these. That'd be funny.
Stop it.
I'm just joking.
Ugh.
Just joking.
Stop it right now.
I can blend in with any bigots if
Stop it.
You never know. You never know. All right. What's next, Hanuni? Importance of morals, all belief systems. Okay, I like that. Importance of morals and all belief systems make the world a better place. Well, okay, I'm gonna have to
broad statement.
I'm gonna have to disagree with the last part.
That's a very broad,
that
especially
all part.
given
Gotta
everything
circle
that's
that.
been happening.
Yeah, gotta circle that all part. I'm sure there's some, what do they call them, Zionist or whatever. I'm sure there's some Zionist views and beliefs, and
Evangelicals.
there's some views and beliefs that I have to disagree with that statement. Yeah, I'll have to disagree with that. That is.
We wrote that like
a long time ago.
like over a year ago.
Well,
so
a lot of belief systems do add morals to people.
They do.
And so I can agree with that aspect. But a lot add morals. However, I also think that morals shouldn't just be taught in belief systems.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that ethics should be taught in school.
There are ways to teach that outside of religion.
Yes, and we can talk a little bit about ethics. Let's talk a little bit about ethics. So, ethics is essentially what morals are to be tolerated in a society. In a society, for example, we should hold all of our citizens to a certain level of ethics. Certain level of ethics meaning you can't just go rob somebody or punch somebody in the face and take what they have because you want it. That's not morally right or ethically correct to run a successful society. So there should be a law and a rule in place that, no, you cannot do that or there will be consequences, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we should be able to teach what the concept of ethics is, because a lot of times I feel like people think morals are really subjective and they think it's like a goalpost they can move up and down the field at will, and it's not. I'll give an example. So, for example, if I have a loaf of bread, or if you have a loaf of bread, and we're in the wilderness somewhere deep, and I want to punch you and take your bread because we're starving to death, that's a situation where, you get to starving and your mind's deteriorating. That makes more sense in a survival situation versus you're in a society, theoretically a theoretical good society where
Not this one.
but a theoretical good society where you can go get a job, you can work, and everybody helps each other make life easier, so that way we can survive easier, and we can go buy the bread and survive without doing that. You know what I mean? And so in a society, you shouldn't need to live like you're in the wilderness.
Right.
Even though in some cases it looks like it's heading that way, or it might even be easier to live in the wilderness. Unfortunately, it's getting there.
It is getting
a change
there.
needs to happen. But essentially,
That's hot.
essentially, morals are not just some goalpost you can move however you want. It should be something that is agreed upon by masses. Is something that should be taught. Like, is this right? Yes or no? And let's add the facts in, so that way we can see the full picture and decide whether something is right or wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a lot of pent up aggression when it comes to our justice system and our lack of morals when it comes to, as a society, when it comes to people who think they have morals, because they might even think, oh, I'm a Christian, but deport those Hispanics. Like, you're not a real Christian.
Or
you're not loving thy neighbor.
Take food stamps away from children.
Yeah, take food stamps away from children
because there's a few that take advantage of the system.
And not to mention, getting on SNAP is such a hard thing to do. They do a good job making sure, you're not finessing the system.
Yeah.
It's misinformation that for some reason is super effective. But essentially, morals is such an important thing to have in a society. And I also think our justice system needs to be
revisited,
revamped,
revised,
redone. I'm going to break down our justice system for you guys. For those of you who haven't ever had to deal with it or have never fully comprehended it, I'm going to break down the stupidity of the dumb game of our justice system. First, you have, if you're going to trial, if you're not coerced into signing and taking a plea because you're scared of the max level of sentence. So if the fear tactic doesn't beat you first and you take it to trial, I'm going to tell you what trial is. It is a game.
Mm-hmm.
It is a game where they're going to cherry pick, I think it's out of 60 people, 12 out of 60 people that fit their agenda, that are usually below average intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just got out the pen. Maybe, they're going to ask them questions to see if their views align with their points.
Yeah.
So they're going to cherry pick people.
Who can I manipulate the easiest?
The easiest. So we're going to grab 12 of the stupidest people we can find.
Yeah.
Right? Because typically you give a certain answer, you're not going to be doing jury duty. They're going to be like, oh, no, we don't need you. We don't need you. Or who really has time for jury duty? You're not getting paid enough. And most average people are working jobs. So we're grabbing people off the, who probably aren't even working. Let's just, whatever. But we're cherry picking 12 individuals, and they all have to agree unanimously on a point. And you're going to have a lawyer and a prosecutor debate on both sides of whether something is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And if you got a lot of money and you can afford a good lawyer, then you have a silver tongue convincing below average intelligent people. If you ever played the game Werewolf or Imposter, you understand how the game works.
It's like Among Us.
Among Us? Yeah, that's the one. Among Us. If you ever played any of those games, you understand how that game works. It's just a matter of, can I convince these stupid people that I'm not the bad guy or they're not the bad guy? Oh, yes? Oh, sweet, we win. Oh, no? Oh, we lost. It is a game. There's nothing just or moral about our justice system whatsoever. It needs to be revamped. It's the same. It came out in the 1800s, and it's modeled after a system from ancient Rome, ancient Greece. Like we could do better. We could make a better system. We could make better laws and better ethics and raise the overall intelligence of our masses to lower the crime rates and do different things like that. Because what we have going on right now is what I'd call an absolute shit show. And then after you get completely wrecked by, if you've dealt with the court system or if you've been locked up or dealt with that, we don't rehabilitate inmates. We don't try to make them citizens. We try to make them feel like criminals.
Yeah.
Like bad guys.
Well, that's why they cycle back in through the prison.
Yeah. And if you study any psychology, that is the wrong way to go about it. Because now you're almost like, people hit the point of, well, if I'm the bad guy, I might as well be the bad guy. If the shoe fits, I might as well wear it. You know, that's where people get to. So now you're actually raising the crime rate with our, instead of rehabilitating, it should be nothing but knowledge being taught to people, how to reinduct them. And then it makes it even harder because once they get out, they can't get any good jobs. Can't get any good jobs. It don't matter if you have CDL, you don't know what you have. People going to see that on your record. Oh, you got a felony? Oh, no, we don't want you. We don't want you. So now you're working some really bad McDonald's job, not able to pay for your probations or your this or your that. Mm-hmm. And then you're either going to be right back in the system or you're going to hit the point where, like, man, I might as well go back to selling drugs and make more money that way.
Yeah. Point
being, our system is not designed to help people. It's not designed to rehabilitate and make sure people are okay. We have a mental health crisis in our world. A huge one. We have schools, children being shot up. We have, like, we've had some this year. Like, we have a lot of problems that we're not addressing. And what problems do we choose to address? Oh, let's deport the immigrants. They're not the ones shooting up the schools. There's not been one immigrant that shot up a school. Like we're wasting our time and our money and our resources on either foreign affairs that have nothing to do with us, or yet again dealing with foreign affairs that have nothing to do with it. Like, they're not doing any harm. That's not. And maybe if y'all want to get to that later down the road, that would make sense. But all these big issues need to be addressed first. And I think they get addressed with education. Yeah. They get addressed with raising people's knowledge, teaching ethics in school as a mandatory class, you know, and even holding parents accountable. We don't do that. We have no laws in place that hold parents accountable for the monsters their children become.
Right. They just get a slap on the wrist, basically.
Not even that.
They get a, oh, it's okay.
Oh, you can't control them completely. No, you can't, but you can guide them better.
Yeah.
Be a part of their lives. Know if they're a serial killer and they're accumulating multiple bodies. You know if they're about to go shoot Charlie Kirk in a rally and report it before it happens. Like, just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Just saying, guys.
Just saying. I'm sorry. I get really, really frustrated with the level of stupidity that goes on in the world, and we need you guys' help to change it. We can't do it by ourselves. That's why we're podcasting. That's why we're doing these lives. We can't do it on our own. We need help. And we need everybody to unify, stand up against these billionaires who are raking everyone through the coals, stand up against the corruption. We need to have laws in places for businesses so where they can't rip off their customers to a degree and their employees. There needs to be morals and ethical laws in place to make change. In all aspects, there needs to be mental health knowledge, how the brain works, taught in schools. The same knowledge that they teach that a lot of therapists will go to college to learn, that needs to be a mass thing that's taught.
Understand how the brain works, how it reacts to certain things.
How to regulate your emotions.
These are very important. And they're very important life skills. These are skills that you need in order to live amongst other human beings.
Yep. Concepts like humility over living in your ego. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people, we are so convinced that we identify as our ego, that we are our ego. We are what we told ourselves we were, and we stop searching for who we really are.
Yeah.
The Christ consciousness version of who we are. the Buddha version of who we are. We are who we truly are from the soul and the deepest core of who we are. Most of us are lost. I'm still trying to find who I am, and we all should still be trying to figure out who we are, not identifying as
to be.
Yeah, who I want to be, not
Yeah.
identifying as the ego.
Right.
You know, if you're okay with doing sick, dirty things to people, you don't know, you're lost. You don't know who you are. And I don't believe that we as humans are just naturally sinful beings. I think we are ignorant. I think I do not believe in good and evil, but only knowledge and ignorance.
Yeah.
If you are truly educated, truly knowledgeable with wisdom, knowledge, and all these different things, you're not going to turn to a life of crime. You're not going to turn to doing bad
Right.
things, or you're going to have the ethics understanding that it is wrong to do something or to rip somebody off, or rob somebody. You're going to know those things. That comes with knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're never taught that kind of knowledge, you think it's okay.
Yeah, you don't know any different.
You don't know any better. You don't know any different. And that's the difference, is knowledge is what makes a person a person, and ignorance is what makes a person a fool. And living in our ignorance and living in our ego is how you remain and stay a fool. But yeah, sorry, we are frustrated. We're frustrated, and we're trying to help. We're trying to make the world a better place, and we need help. We need to be more knowledge based instead of ignorance based. Do your research.
There's no time for complacency.
Mm-mm.
In this very moment. There's no point in sitting back and just living your day-to-day life. There's too much going on. There's too much going on for you to not be fighting the fight, for you to not be using your voice, for you to not be standing against wrongdoing. Like, there is zero time for anybody to be complacent. We need to constantly be seeking and learning and trying to make this place better, because at the end of the day, although you may not benefit from it personally, our children will.
What's that Bible verse? It's like to bring heaven it is on earth, or is that a prayer?
That's the Lord's Prayer.
How does it go?
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's part you're talking about?
Yeah. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done
on earth as it is in heaven.
So, like, and I think anytime you hear that, it hits the soul. You feel it. Like, like, thy kingdom come on earth like it is in heaven. So why aren't more people trying to make this place like that? But instead, you have more people, oh, the rapture's coming, the end is near. Like, come on, bro. You know, your grandpa used to say that his whole life before he passed, and your grandpa's grandpa. And as long as your family's been into Christianity, you've probably had someone in your family preaching that the end was near. I feel it coming in this time period, he would say. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, why are we so waiting on a savior to come save us, but not trying to save ourselves? Mm-hmm. Why can't we summon Christ within ourselves to make the world a better place? Why do we sit here and wait for the rapture to come when a lot of y'all probably wouldn't get raptured no ways? You're not trying to make the world a better place. Why do you think you'd go? Why do you think because you believe Jesus is Lord is all you need to do to make it to heaven? But then you can do these terrible things every day.
Your heart is heavy. Your heart is heavy, and it will not make it in.
Nope.
Just saying.
Nope. It's not as light as a feather, and that's where it needs to be. It needs to be as light as a feather. That's what it needs to be. It needs to be as light as a feather. You have to purify yourself. I used to say this thing: where you are when you die is where you go. Where you are is where you go. So if you're in hell on earth, if you're being tormented, I know if you've ever been to a dark place in your head where the thoughts are loud and it's constant torment, I've been there. If you've ever been there, you've experienced a level of hell on earth, right? And so if you die in that state, where do you think your soul's going to go? If your consciousness is living in a hell on earth, where do you think your soul's going to go? You can't say, oh, I believe in Jesus Christ, so I'm good, even though I'm in hell on earth. Earth is hell. Earth is not hell. It's not. It's Midgard. It is the place between. It is the shifter. Mm-hmm. That is what earth is. Earth is the shifter. Are you gold or are you dirt? You choose. You choose what you are. You choose what you want to be.
Yeah.
And watch our podcast. We have a lot of knowledge, a lot of things we've said that I think will help you on the journey to enlightenment. And once you reach that level of enlightenment, maybe then you'll understand that the mission was to make it as like heaven.
As unified as we possibly can be.
Yeah. Unity.
We have so many people that are split between all types of different divisions, religion, politics. It's just, we are divided more now than we have ever been.
Here's a shitty society term. Most people, most dads, most people won't take a kid that's not theirs biologically. I see every kid as my child, whether you're mine or not. Yeah. If I'm coaching you, if you cross my path and I see you doing something dangerous, I treat every child like they're my child. I see them no different.
Right.
No different. So treat every child as if they're your own. Treat every person as if they are your neighbor.
And not just if they're in this country, everywhere.
For every person, it's every human being.
All-circumferencing thing.
Yes, that is part of enlightenment, is understanding that we are all connected. We are all human at the end of the day. Despite what we believe, despite the color of our skin, despite all of those things, we are all the same. We're all connected. And if someone else's kid is getting neglected, step up. Mm-hmm. That might as well be yours.
Yeah.
The only difference between that kid and yours is that kid was born here and yours was born there.
Yep.
We got to get past the physical and be able to step into unity, be able to step into who we really are, be able to step into a race that truly cares about itself.
Yeah.
If the human race has self-love, it cares about itself as a whole, not me and mine.
Right.
And that's what this world's become. You'll have motherfuckers moralize, justify their ill doings with, oh, I'm feeding my family. Oh, I robbed 10 families today to feed my own. Yeah, I get you justified feeding your own, but was it right to rob those 10 families?
Right.
Does that weigh heavy on your soul and your heart? And you can ignore it all day, but in the end, when you are judged, God won't ignore those things. He's going to put you on that scale, and you're not going to pass, and you're going to be really upset when you either A, reincarnate it, or B, you go straight to hell.
Yeah.
Or whatever you might believe happens after that point.
But open to interpretation.
Open to, interpretation.
Yeah.
So I think a big thing is being open-minded. Being able to understand, like, if you believe in reincarnation and I believe you go to hell or heaven, and we can have a conversation and understand that we may not agree, but I learned that you believe this.
Yeah.
And I can file that away with these people believe that. And that's cool. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to hell for not believing what I believe. That's not right for me to do. That's not my place.
Right.
It's not my place. Who am I? What vain ignorance is that? Well, the Bible says, who are you to interpret the Bible? You can interpret the Bible in so many different ways. That's why there's so many different branches of Christianity.
Let's also not forget the 6th grade reading level comprehension.
Yeah, let's not forget that either.
Let's not forget that.
Yeah, but then we're quick to judge and try to damn somebody. And what's that? There's another verse. Judge not lest you be judged. Is that what it is?
English Standard Version of the Bible. Matthew 7, verses 1 through 3. Judge not that you be not judged, for with the judgment you pronounce, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you see the speck that is in your brother's eye, but do not notice the log that is in your own eye?
Yet another Bible verse that a lot of people forget. When you go to try to tell someone they're going to hell, that is judgment. Stop doing that. You do not have the right to do that. Like, whether they believe what you believe or not, you just told them that they're facing eternal damnation after they pass. Who are you to say that? Where is your humility? Mm-hmm. I don't recall Jesus telling anyone they were going to hell. But, well, you guys can justify things however you want, but in the end you will be judged. And that is what that Bible verse is about. We love to cherry pick what fits our narrative in the moment, and that fits into that confusion that we love to play. We love being confused, and That's why you'll hear a lot of people battle between different Bible verses, and it's dumb. And we could do better. We need to stop fighting like that. We need to come together, understand that there's more things that we agree on than that we disagree on.
Yeah.
And that we should focus on more than the one disagreements. We could have one disagreements and 1,000 things we agree on. We should focus on these 1,000, not the one disagreements. And you'll probably have a hard time in your relationships too if you can't utilize that skill. So, but I think we are reaching that point. But you guys, thanks for watching. Feel free to watch this live again and watch our podcast.
Yep.
We're not sure we're going to title it yet, but it will be posted here soon.
Yep.
So thanks for commenting. Thanks for jumping on. You guys have a happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
And have a good one.
Yep. Here, we can exit.
Be sure to like and subscribe.
See ya.
All connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that